My name is Jay Lennington, and I would like to begin this morning by sharing with you guys a statement that God has indeed been gracious to bring you here. About 4 years ago, a TMS alumni emailed me that very sentence. He was helping me with my transition here, and he wrote that to me in an email. God has been gracious to bring you here. And I must have read that 50 times. How is God being gracious to bring me to TMS? It was about 8 years before that, my wife Leah and I were becoming more and more involved at our local church in Illinois. We were growing in an appetite for God's word, both graciously saved and really began to grow in our faith. At that point, I was just starting to get involved in youth ministry at my church. And as the years went on, I became more and more involved in that ministry. I was also working as a union carpenter at the time, had a great job, loved my job, but God had other plans for us. Really just another evidence of His grace in my life was moving me out of construction and putting us into ministry. And I was so excited to be a youth pastor until I realized how ill-equipped that I was for that job. I knew I needed help, and God was, of course, way, way ahead of me. It was in 2012 that I came to my first Shepherd's Conference here. It was supposed to be an encouraging time for the pastors and elders at my church. I was a little bit familiar with Dr. MacArthur's ministry already, but the rest of the lineup at that conference was just unbelievable. It was unlike anything I had ever heard, and that trip then was further confirmation to me of how much help I really needed in ministry. And I found out that there was a seminary here. I was just right outside the library eating an ice cream sandwich. For those of you who've been to Shepherd's Conference, you know those are available. I called my wife, who was at home in the midst of a snowstorm, and I asked her, "Hey, what do you think about moving to Southern California?" Timing is everything. She said she would start packing immediately. The months that I waited after submitting my application, just remember praying and asking God to please help me know His word, to be the kind of pastor that He wanted me to be. You guys, I can honestly say God was gracious to bring me here. And after 4 years, I can just say without a doubt that God has so far exceeded my expectations in His answer to that prayer. So abundantly provided work for me during the years here at TMS, just faithfully provided housing for my family. Arrived with 3 kids and the seminary bonus that some of you will hear about. It's a real thing. Our 4th child was born 7 months ago, so we now have 2 boys and 2 girls. The teams are evened up. So I want to thank my family so much for their support. My daughters, Lacey and Hollis, my sons, Callan and Tad. And of course, so many of the guys, I just can't thank my wife enough for her support over these last 4 years. As you men will learn, this seminary is just brimming with professors who are excellent at what they do, and they absolutely demand excellence from us as students. And they are professors who are most interested in equipping pastors, teaching us how to preach, how to uphold the truth, how to refute error. And they love the local church. And they serve at the local church, and they exemplify so often what it is to be a pastor. Well, God has also provided opportunities for me to serve in ministry here in my time at TMS. So thankful for Grace Community Church, that this seminary sits on the campus of Grace Church, a church where I've been able to put into practice the things that I've learned. Currently have the privilege of serving in junior high here at Grace, and just plan to continue serving here after graduation and until God would move us again. can't believe how fast these 4 years went. But I do know that God has been gracious to carry me through. And so whether you guys are just beginning your time here at TMS or, perhaps some of you are in the home stretch, I just want to remind you to remember how gracious God has been to you. Let me leave you with this. Psalm 103 says, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, forget not all his benefits. The Lord is merciful and gracious. He's slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. For as high as the heavens are above the earth, so great is his steadfast love towards those who fear him." Thank you.